Salute everybody. What's going on? Greetings and new day. Yes, indeed. It's been quite a while since I put out a video, so here I am now to drop one. And this one is called A Telegram for ADOS and Family. Meaning, ADOS, African descendants of slaves. And when I say the family, I'm talking about everybody that are descendants of the African tribes, right? Because as all don't know, but many do know and should know by now that there's only one race, which is the human race, and within that human race, we have different ethnic groups. Sad to say that within a lot of the ethnic groups, there are many disparities that continue to be prevalent, especially wherever America goes and practices her, you know, her ways. And I think the practice became a perfection because it's almost like wherever America goes, she she infestates. So it's like a cancerous infestation, if you will. Now, due to the laws of opposites, just as good as someone can be is just as bad. So I believe, with my optimistic mindset and being very compassionate, forgiving, and merciful, because just as we receive, we ought to give. However, this don't mean be gullible, and we allow things to just go by the wayside or be swept under the rug, and we overlook it because we're getting paid off. However, I believe that just as bad as someone is, just as good as well. Laws of opposites, duality. So I do have hope for this country, but for as long as my people in particular have endured uh, intergenerational trauma and haven't healed yet, which is easier said than done because there's a lot to undo. Um, it's gonna take so it's gonna continually take much effort and work to establish not just righteousness, but reclamation as to who we truly are, rather than saying African descendants of slaves, because that's just a part of it. That's just a part of it. And before I get into this poem, let me just go ahead to say in my continual preface here is that I want my brothers and sisters to know and ponder on this, that we have to be very open-minded when we think about where we come from and the things that has transpired ever since. Uh, hence, whoa, excuse me. Hence the whole idea of being so-called taken from Africa or stolen from the land, yada yada yada. Um, we have to be careful and be mindful of the words that we use and the concepts that we put it in, and these narratives that we're laying claim to, and possibly anthropomorphizing them goddamn things. And it's like, okay, well, now that's what it is, and we're going to be plagued in our minds because everything is of the mind, and then we move on it and we continue to perilously go through the cycles and revolutions. As I've shared before in the past, the root word of revolution is to revolve, and that's what it is, a constant revolution, revolving of the same thing basically, because humanity to me doesn't seem like it has changed for the better. We have a lot of new contemporary technological devices and appliances for the homes, cars, TVs, and everything, but new storefronts with dazzling LED lights and whatnot. But as far as us, especially in the hood, I mean, I know the ghetto is going to be the ghetto, and you always have the haves and the have-nots, but that don't mean have and not. We got to have, listen closely, having not should not mean that we have all the filth that we have in the ghetto hood. Do you understand that? It may seem like a catch-22, but considerably put, those in the ghetto are the ones that have nots, right? The have-nots. But in what way? In what form? Having not is a beautiful thing sometimes, man. Just know how to put it in context. You know what I mean? Some people may think it could be a beautiful young lady out there who's working her way up the ladder, and she's very intelligent. She's working for her masters. She's a great scholar. She don't have a baby. She don't have the stresses of a guy nagging her, pulling her coat, and trying to, like demoralize her or whatever. So she don't have that. That's a form of having not. See what I mean? If we could just put things into perspective, accentuate the positive, know how to put things in context, detach the negative connotation with so many terms and words and narratives that's out there, and trust me, we're gonna make a huge change. Trust me, we're gonna make a huge change. It's gonna be hard, it's gonna be difficult because we continue to deal with the sins of jealousy, envy, and fear. Yeah, that's what continue to perpetuate a lot of what's happening. Yeah, so we got work to do. And last but not least, before I get into this poem, what I wanted to touch on is that, yeah, when we talk about those who were stolen from the land and yada, 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 well, look here. Nothing happened without cause. The universal God force makes no mistakes. We have a justice system here in America. We can say that it's unjust. We can say da 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 da. But I know that if I go put my hands on somebody right now, I choke them out, I slap them, knife them, I broke the law, I'll be detained or apprehended, and boom, sentenced, charged, boom, here I am, and there I go on my way to jail, right? Okay. You have action and reaction. Nothing happened without cause. If we were stolen, how can righteous people be stolen? Think about that. How? You mean to tell me that dark forces are more stronger or more blessed by the Heavenly Father? Like y'all must have forgot the little story of Cain and Abel. And I got to touch on that in a profound way, because I just reading through that Cain and Abel story and whatnot, I reaped so much. However, I want you, think about what I'm saying here. It's serious. Nothing happened without consequence, karma dharma. So I think we need to really start putting things in, shift the way we think, shift our perception, and in doing so, which will cause a ripple effect, a butterfly effect, we will shift the paradigms and remove the dark clouds over our heads. Yeah. Because I go to say this. I have I have a hunch, which makes sense to me, that I myself could possibly be a descendant of a sinful tribe, of a sinful mother and father. This is not to condemn them. This is just something that has to be put out, because now we get to, shine light on some things, and then we have our work to do, because no one's perfect. Okay, so let's say, as most people like to say or spew, that we were born in sin. Well, what is that sin? What are those sin, or that sin that we need to repent from and atone and turn a new leaf, get a new lease on life? But what are those sins? And being that the African people are the ones who were of the firstborn and of the chosen, well, something must have happened in the land for the Heavenly Father and Mother to punish us the way that they did. This is not justifying what has taken place with brutal slavery, the rapings and the pillaging and the no. I'm not justifying that. But it's things that I'm putting into perspective. There's things that I continue to quest, and there's things that has to be brought out into the light. So if we were, let's say that the African people were exiled, and of those African people, especially of the men, because men carry to see the life that you and I are a descendant of. But because they continue to be so rebellious and God continued to chastise them, they didn't atone or repent, in which many of us we don't even go about doing any of that. We just out here sexing. We out here. Come on now. So let's say you and I are a descendant of that tribe. What do we do? The time is now. And that's all I'm gonna say right there. Let's get into this because I don't want to hold you too long. All right, so here we go, y'all. This here, as I said, is a telegram for ADOS and family. Let's rock. I says here, out of the cosmic black hole into the potter's hand wheel, precious clay shaped and molded into perfection, a miraculous manifestation, universally equipped and fashioned with nature's gems, assigned to elevate the utopian creation without disturbing the portal of perversions and wickedness which can allure souls. Though what can be left to do when the zenith has been reached? Who initially dared to ogle the moon hastily? Such an infatuation for pleasure leads the heart to be weighed favorably. How? What's the gain versus inevitable losses incurred? To whom much is given, much is to be required of. Incarnation is celestial without blame, but terrestrial birth dutiful. Sand and rain does not share the same responsibilities. All consequential deeds and all acts are accounted for, regardless of the complexions regardless of the complexions illuminated by the sun's succulent kisses. Though who reaps and benefits the most from the Lord of hosts, primarily made in the image and likeness with gifts, but miraculously became deconstructed by whose authoritative powers? As faith is also the evidence of things that's unseen. Which permanent address may truly house the soul of man? As within, so without, to be conceived without clouds of doubt, that's meant for sunset. As above, so below, concluding our rightful thrones. A telegram for ADOS and family. Now, that basically goes into what I'm saying here. I start off with our creation, what we're assigned to do, who initially dared to ogle the moon hastily. Such an infatuation for pleasure leads the heart to be weighed favorably, meaning that we were given into lasciviousness, lust, wickedness, which continue to be prevalent out here. Hence, all the wicked sexual acts and deviances out here, LGBT, fornication, outlandishly being just pervading and infesting many places, cities, neighborhoods, provinces, you name it. Because think about who dared to ogle the moon hastily. Because so many people revere the moon more than they do the sun. And for those who know science, know that the moon cannot even glow and get its power without the sun being present and illuminating. And that goes to show who we are, black brothers and sisters. What would this world be without us shining? Total darkness, chaos, anarchy, apocalypse. We play with these ideas and themes and we get cute with it, yeah. But there are some people out there living in those type of worlds in their head. And you know, not to kind of make fun of it or mock anybody, but particularly in New York City where I live and grew up, as many of us have, those who follow me right now know that our city is still dirty. The ghetto is still filthy, man. Filthy, man. And not just what's on the street side and on the corners. The behaviors and mannerisms and thinking of our people in which illiteracy is still high. People can't even properly comprehend. We don't even have much discerning spirits and souls out there. But yet we want to be so demanding for things that we're not even worthy of. We have much to aspire to, but who says we got to have it? You know, we are entitled for some things, but God damn it, as far as I'm concerned, there's too much entitlement out there, and this is just wrong. This is just wrong, and you know, the most hurtful part is that unsettling truth, which is a tough pill to swallow, but we have to do it. We have to be open-minded. We have to be compassionate, humble, practice humility. I've spoken on that many times. Easier said than done, but we have to do it because I know the more that we become perfected in doing so and put that into daily life and practices, oh man, the things that we're going to be able to acquire, ascertain, establish, erect. I mean, all kinds of wonderful things, man. It'll be beautiful, man. You know, but let me continue. Yeah, so I went from our creation to what we are assigned to do upon earth, and how we got, you know, if for those who know, can just read between the lines of what I said here in the poem, because the third stanza where I said, who dare to ogle the moon hastily, and what's to gain versus inevitable losses incurred, which is still prevalent. Because two men don't make life, two women don't make life. So being so given into that lust and ogle, to ogle the moon. Whoever go look up the word ogle, which is some people's last name. No pun intended. You know, yeah, we got done in, man. And this, since we were the firstborn, we ought to take blame and hold ourselves accountable for a lot of what's taking place. Especially when we look to talk about our European and Asian family, because they are descendants too. Since people want to get all high and mighty on color, well, with this color, with this melanin, with these genetic traits and all that, let's hold ourselves accountable. Let's take some responsibility. To whom much is given, much is to be required of. Incarnation is celestial without blame. Many of us was incarnated with spirit. A lot of us, that's without blame, because a lot of us don't even know how this thing works. When you deal with spiritual matters, it comes from the upper realm. Trust me. The Most High is the one that allowed these things to go about. But terrestrial birth, that of the land, your flesh, the land, is dutiful. Dutiful meaning being done by those. I don't even got to get into that. I don't even got to. Sand and rain does not share the same responsibilities. Meaning, sand and rain, you have the earth, sand, the rain, which comes from the sky, as above, so below. Although these two elements don't have the same responsibilities, they don't share the same responsibilities. One ascends, one descends. Sand represents what? Time. You put sand together, how you think glass and mirrors are made? By sand. Reflections of time, reflections of ourselves. Rain, water, precipitation. Moving forward, all consequential deeds and all acts are accounted for. For the eyes of the Lord is in every place, beholding good and evil, yada, yada, yada. Nothing goes undone or unnoticed. Regardless of the complexions, illuminated, but meaning that there's nothing new under the sun. We all here being kissed by the sun, everybody of every color, from the time that the sun rises and sets. The who reaps and benefits the most from the Lord of hosts? We do, Africans, because we reap so much from the sun. Moving forward, primarily made in the image and likeness. This is a perfect conclusion. It's like a cover to cover if you really go back and listen to the words, especially if you write it out. You write out the words, because it's not a long poem. You can write it out stanza for stanza and then go ahead and look at it and be like, aha, I see what the brother's talking about. Primarily made in the image and likeness with gifts, but miraculously became deconstructed. Because with all like I said in the beginning, what I said with nature's gems, you know what I mean? Made in the image and likeness with gifts. This is all, I put it in a particular way, y'all. It makes sense. You just gotta know how to read through it. All right? Ride the wave. We became deconstructed. We became degenerated, degraded in these many places within the American lands where we heavily populate throughout every city, nation, and within this nation, East Coast, West Coast, North, South. Which permanent address may truly house the soul of man? Which address? This flesh right here, this land, this flesh ought. Because I say, which permanent address may truly house the soul of man? Because some people don't got no soul, man. They've been, victimized. They've been traumatized. Some people out there really need much more healing, man. I pray for them too. Yeah, we need it, man. So this address right here, we supposed to live within this body. Yeah, we live here. This truly houses the soul of man, not your apartment or your house. Nah, this body, this flesh and bone that the Creator gave us. Hint, as I said, out of the cosmic whole into the potter's hand wheel, precious clay shaped and molded into perfection, a miraculous manifestation. But back to this same stanza, but miraculously became deconstructed. See how I put it all together? When I put this out, like I said in many videos, I'm not doing this just for clout. I'm not doing this for fame. I'm really doing this. I spend a lot of nights, man, on these hard floors, man. I ain't looking for no handout or nothing like that, but I'm just putting it out there to give y'all some perspective and to show y'all I do this, man. But I guess because it don't got a beat, you know what I'm saying? It's not lyrically ascribed with some other man. Look, anyway, as within, so without, to be conceived without clouds of doubt, because it is just without any clouds of doubt. And I said that's meant for sunset, because if you have any doubt, upon sunset, what do you have? The darkness is coming, meaning the nighttime. You follow that? As within, so without, to be conceived without clouds of doubt. That's meant for sunset. Because if you have any cloud of a doubt, you may have some, as I said, prefacing this video here, that we have dark clouds over our heads, meaning that we're still affected. That hedge hasn't been removed, so we're still sullen with darkness. Look at the ghetto hoods. Come on, follow me, y'all. As above, so below. Concluding meaning of this, especially for my men, of this head or the head down there. Because this head, in the daytime, this head, yes, receives sunlight. But that head down there is normally enclosed behind threads that doesn't receive sunlight. And that's going to be a major part of our healing too, brothers. I wish that we could have it in such a way where, you go out there and you sunbathe, man, with your birthday suit, man. Give that guy down there some sun too. Lord knows we need it. But We've been so, we became so perverted, maladies, diseases, many. Anyway, as above, so below, concluding our rightful thrones. Our rightful thrones, meaning that you got what you got. Some people rather reign in hell than to be a servant in the house of the Lord of Hosts. Some people rather be like, yo, I ain't dealing with that. I'd rather be down here. I'm gonna reign in hell. I'm gonna raise terror. I'm doing me. Rather than to be a servant of the Most High. And not just of something that's just out there. No. But something that we ought to really manifest within self and to embody, truly embody. And this is why I don't get all caught up with the earrings or the necklaces, the rings, and all. I mean, I could do that. But I'm humble, and until I receive word and counsel from my elders and whatnot, or when that to be exalted from the Lord, yeah, then I will be embellished with those jewels, those stones, those crystals. It does help. And we need something. We need something. Yes, we do. We need something out here to work upon and be inspired and to aspire to. But they got some people out there who just wear all that and they filthy. They filthy. So, it is what it is, y'all. I do pray for the best, and I want to see a change in the hood, but what I continue to be made privy to and what I see is going to have to come about to make these necessary changes, I don't think a lot of y'all are ready to even hear it. And for those who want to hear it, it's going to come by hook or crook. It's going to come, but I know one thing. When it comes to making some serious changes, and we want to do better and see better in righteousness, we have to get together and really, we have to really formulate some serious groups, study groups, because we can surely go about it in a great way where we don't have to be, losing blood, meaning lives. But I'll put it to you like this in short as I close. Everything works from the top down. A lot of us like to talk about forefathers and ancestors. Well, consider those not who has passed on, but those who are in their latter days. Those who we have here now, our living ancestors and forefathers. For they have seen many things throughout these lands. Now, some of them may not be all, they don't have all the knowledge in the world, but I know all of them certainly have something to share that's profound. In which most cases is often expressed through some sort of art form. They have something to give. And they have some out there who are master teachers. So it works from the top down. What the elders do not enforce, they enable. And this is why we got these wicked young ones out here and rebellious young ones doing what they do. Law and order was not enforced. Discipline and obedience was not enforced. So what did that do? It enabled a lot of the wickedness, rebelliousness. Why? Neglect. And when it comes to making these changes, we're going to need to partner up, practice humility, be humble with our elders, because we have to do this together. Youngsters have the energy, but the elders know the road. They are living relics, with all due respect. and we have to prepare to account for the costs, for the losses incurred, which is a cost, a heavy cost. The price and cost are two different things. I say price is what you pay up front. Cost is what you pay at the back end, that bottom line. So I'll be on standby to hear what anyone has to say and share. All right, I look forward to it. Tell me what you think. Peace, love, and light. Ashe.